The Leila Show.
Beyond the New to the Leila Show, a show where we embark on a journey of curiosity to connect with the depths of fascinating souls and imaginative creators from every corner of the globe. Join us as we exchange stories, explore diverse perspectives, delve into the realm of philosophy, immerse ourselves in the arts, celebrate culture, and dissect the very essence of existence itself, all guided by your host, Leila Ziari. Welcome to another week of the Leila Show, and today we have a guest, Lee Taylor from the Never a Straight Answer podcast, which is a weekly podcast all about the strange and random. Each week, he aims to bring you the best and most out there news, mysteries, alien sightings, and conspiracy theories. Never a Straight Answer, N.A.S.A, looks at everything odd, the stranger the better, from world events, crazy internet stories, world history, funny and interesting facts, science theory, and more. Recorded live from a hidden bunker somewhere in Manchester, United Kingdom. Join him and his co-host, accompanied by the odd guest or two, for Never the Straight Answer podcast. And that's streamed every week, and I got to start listening to that. So anyways, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. So, yeah, basically, your podcast sounds fucking fantastic, and
Yeah.
and I'm into all of that. But like, okay, so there's the crazy UFO alien news going on right now. What's your take on everything going on at the moment?
I think it's the next step forward. I really do think it's the next step forward because Stephen Gray has been trying to actually get the CIA to take a court for years, and they haven't done it because they know as soon as you walk into court, then it's got to be recorded, and that the people will finally know. So what he's done is, in 6 months' time, if all these companies do not basically open up the doors and start telling what's been going on, then he's going to take them to court.
Right.
He's put a legal a legal statute in there. And so with it going to Congress, and now Congress having a look at it more seriously than they have before, because there's been a number of times they've been to Congress and it's like, nah. But this time they've been more serious because there's more evidence being brought forward.
I'm just surprised they're letting it happen though, because like you said, I feel like this has been brought up. I mean, we've all known, well, not all of us, because some people literally just live in their own bubble of like, I'm the only thing in this multiverse, like, which is just stupid regardless of what you think of it. Like it's always been so silent, so I think it's fascinating that they're actually like letting this be a thing right now, and I don't know what that means, and I don't know if it's going to cause mass chaos, but I feel like everyone's desensitized to it now, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Stephen Gray's been doing it for mainly for the technology. To bring the technology out. If we can bring the technology out, then what we have today would be, a lot better. We won't have this environmental catastrophe going on, which, if you think about it, after 9/11, there was a thing called there was global warming and global dimming, and they didn't realise about global dimming until after 9/11 because there was no planes flying over, so they could actually test the atmosphere. So they had to make a decision to get rid of either one of them had to be gotten rid of, basically. They got rid of global dimming, supposedly, but global dimming's on the way back.
Oh, and what is that going to do? I need to be educated on this more, because what is that going to do? Because at the moment, like, we're fucking burning to death, and there's no question about that. Like, it's getting hotter every day, and I'm like, okay, I'd be fainting every time I go outside, so like, we're not going to last like that, so something has to happen.
He actually knew it was coming because if we had global dimming, which they were saying at the time that global dimming would have been worse, but it actually blanketed Russia, 60% of the country. So they're getting 40% of the light. And the same with America, I think it was something like 56%, and like Britain it was like 20%, something like that. But then as things have been going on, and at least from the 80s, they've been looking at manipulating the weather.
Right, which I know a bit about, but...
Yeah, they're bringing out these like big windmills to try and catch energy and stuff like that. I mean, there's one in China that's just come out, and it's absolutely massive. Now there has to be some kind of some kind of reverse cycle to it, because if you think about it, all right, then we turn it on, we make it blow the wind or collect the energy, but then that wind's being directed in a different direction, where
right.
the Earth itself is actually supposed to be controlling the environment and stuff like that.
Right,
and
which is just creating such contrast in all the ways, because it's like Earth is fighting against the technology, and it's not working so well right now. So hopefully the aliens can help, because to be completely fucking honest, this is not working, and I don't think we're gonna make it that much longer if they don't do that.
I agree, but another thing with the aliens, there's a thing of like, they don't want us to know that we know they're here. And that
they know that we know that they're here. They have to know that because they're supposedly more intelligent than us, and we know. So don't they know that we know that they know that we all know?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a funny thing about as soon as someone spots a UFO and starts deciding to film it and something like that, it already knows. How does it already know that you're looking at it and you're just about to do something with it?
Right. Well, I believe they must be, I feel like anyone that's not a humanoid creature per se, just on this, whatever, but humans are more intelligent than they let us be also, which is part of manipulation and not letting us access our full whatever anyway, but I'm sure they can just, their intuition or whatever they have, that, they can just feel that, oh, that motherfucker is looking at me. Bye.
Yeah, this is it, and there's
or the craft itself has the technology, I don't know, but I mean, come on, if they're visiting us so regularly, they obviously are much more intelligent than we ever hoped to be, so.
Yeah, well, true, they're way more advanced, and I think they've been here for a long time, to be honest.
I think too. I mean, I truly believe, the Egyptians were not humans. I believe a lot of, I don't believe, Lemurians and Atlanteans were really, human beings. I feel like those were half-breeds, you know what I mean? We're definitely higher elevated beings, and I don't know. I've always thought there's something with the ocean and,
yes.
Too. I believe, I'm sure they come from up there, but I believe that, 90% of them come from down there, because we don't know what the fuck is going on down there.
Yeah, and people who don't understand it always come back with, well, you're not going to go 50,000 light years just to come and see us and then go back. And it's no, there's a chance that, the planets within our solar system, we still don't know a lot about it. We know less about robots
right.
planets, you know what I mean? And the planets in our solar system at the minute as well, it's warming up, and we don't know why.
Right.
There's something going wrong. There's something going on in every planet to do with the magnetic field, the spiral on top of one of the planets where it's changing. It's going bigger. The big red spot in Jupiter, it went. You know what I mean? And it might go back.
Right. I want all these questions answered. I want to know things. But
yeah, this is it. But I think we know more than we really do. We know a hell of a lot less than we think we actually know.
Which is usually the case for anything in relation to anything human beings think, which is why I accept the fact that I literally know nothing other than that I know nothing.
A lot of this, a lot of this is kind of guesswork as well, because, I've been doing it for 30 plus years, and what I've seemed to have done, I've collected the information, but collected the hoaxes as well, because it can turn out as not a hoax. It might be a little, because at the minute there's an old alien footage that was out years ago. Now they're questioning it now because they reckon that it possibly could be the real thing. But when you watch it, you go, no, not a chance.
Right. But that's so true. With anything, I'm gonna put air quotes if they can't see it, quote unquote conspiracies or hoaxes. There's all some basis of truth in that somewhere. You know what I mean? Whether or not the actuality of what's publicated or what exactly to a T people are saying, but there's always truth in any of those theories.
Yeah.
But we're both basically just theorizing because the people who know still probably don't fucking know. Like, the government obviously knows more, but do they know everything? No, I doubt it.
I think there'd be probably less than 10 people who actually know what's going on in this planet. There must be, but because just the control alone, you know.
Right.
With
but they're not doing anything good with it, so I don't know. Some species has to intervene. I don't know who, but...
Yeah, but the thing with intervening as well, because I've also heard that, like, there's actually, like, wars going on, with certain species. Because I got a paper, years ago when the net first started up. I went into college and I typed up stuff like, alright, CIA, UFOs, you know, FBI, all that kind of stuff, and stuff coming out. And I got, one paper which I tried to go back and try and find out, where it actually comes from. And I can't find it at all. It's dead off the net, which it shouldn't be, because it should have been recorded. But right. This one actually this paperwork actually talks about, Bob Lazar, and, what code words was said, like EBE, if the EBE was said to, like, the president at that time, then he knew what was going on. There was serious issues. Right. Like, two went out, to actually, find the crafts, then the groups would go out there to actually take the crafts and the aliens and, you know, different areas. There's a lot of information in it, and as time's gone by, bits of it have been coming true. And it's the same with the information that I've been gathering in my head. Like, you connect certain bits and it's like, hold on, I've heard that before, or hold on, that connects to that, and then that could connect to that. So it's worth keeping the rubbish as well as the...
Yeah, I feel like now I'm envisioning like you're a board in your house with the spider web diagrams connecting all the stories from all the ages, but maybe that's not accurate.
Well, I'll show you. I've got a wall there.
That's exactly what I was picturing in my mind. Exactly that.
I've even gone into like court stuff as well. I've gone into because when I first started it, I wanted to know. Like, I didn't know everything about science and stuff like that, like I don't know now. But with questioning certain things about science, then I'm quite into science as well. But then, as the years have gone on, I've gone now into like courts and laws, and where a lot of the laws that have been put out there, you don't have to abide by, and so there's a lot of messing around with it. And you have to say it in certain words, and so it's complicated. But I just enjoy it because I want to know what's going on.
I want to know too. I mean, there's so many of us who do. So I feel like the fact that, like, I mean, you've dedicated your whole existence pretty much to this is fantastic. Yeah. I would love to know everything you know, but, like, of course you don't know either. But, like, I do think it's okay. So, like, now everybody has a podcast and, like, you can just openly talk about this stuff, which I do think is, like, I feel like before you could never, you know, you get banned from, I remember even, like, in 2014, all my friends talking about this stuff were getting banned from the internet and putting, like, Facebook jail and stuff. Now you're just like, whatever, which is great.
Yeah.
But
it's great about the information coming out, but the same, the internet was it's like a Pandora's box. At first, when it come out, it was brilliant, but then people started using and abusing it, and now we don't know what we are now.
Right. I know what's real, what's fake, who's this person, who's this psychopath,
I'm a male, I'm a whatever, you know what I mean? The environment, and it also helps governments because divide and conquer. It used to be it was like at work and your mates and that, but then like the last 5 years, it's been family orientated as well, to try and separate, because when you're separated from each other, you're going to go and run to the government and they're going to tell you what to do, and you're more than likely going to do what they want you to do.
Right, which is why everyone's under this weird control and the world is so fucked, but you know, that can't last forever though. Like, it's not working. It's
lasted a long time. if you think about it, it's already lasted a long time. I mean, look at the banking sector, the Illuminati and all that kind of stuff. That started in like the 16th to 18th century. So there's been a plan for a long time, but it was brought in the 19th century. It was brought forward, and like things were put in position. So there's less power we have, which we all hold the power. Which is true. But our major problem is we can't join together. We can't join together and go, right, it's them, because they're separating us. So we can't join it.
I mean, I feel like we still could, though. There's enough of us. I mean, I joined the movement, but I'm not starting it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have that much authority yet. I mean, give me some. I was born on Hitler's birthday. That's got to give me some credit for like world dominating energy, right?
Oh well, I've heard there's a lot of stories about UFOs and Hitler and actually coming over.
Let's hear it. Give me a story. I'm like, give me one.
Okay. All right. When he was supposed to have died.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be he got on. There was different routes that he could have got out of there, because there was a Nazi group called Odessa, who were actually designed to make sure that all SS and that got out of the country. So they were in charge of where they took them and all that. So Argentina was one, obviously. The Antarctic was another, which is a pretty big one, and there's some big information coming out about Antarctic as well at the moment. Then you've got America, Canada. Yeah, there are places down there that there's supposed to have, like, gold, all the gold and that was brought down, and there's like railway tracks that go to like into the middle of nowhere. And there's actually supposedly a picture of Hitler in I think it was about 2010 in a cabin that around there, and there's a lot of Nazi memorabilia around there as well. But supposedly he'd got in the submarine and he'd gone to Argentina. Then a lot of the SS come off there and went and sorted themselves out there. But then he moved straight on to Antarctica, because it was a base there. Because in 1940, I think it was four or five, Admiral Byrd got sent out there because one of Hitler's right-hand men had sent a letter to the president to state that he's on the submarine, he's going to Argentina, and then he's going to the Antarctica. Which they already knew that there was a submarine base in Antarctica, because years beforehand they'd actually gone to route to check the place out, and actually now they've found evidence of the soldiers and places been going on there.
Oh wow!
So, do you know who designed the UN?
Do not.
Hitler.
Ah, makes sense.
Do you know who the first Surgeon General was? Hitler's solicitor.
Oh wow!
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. There's no.
I mean, well, it's all felt like Nazi Germany to me my whole life, but when I say that, you know how offended people get. They're like, "Well, are you in a concentration camp?" I'm like, "No, but that's where we're going."
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's totally. Well, you've heard about. Right. This stuff that's going on at the minute. There's actually an old plan where they're building a road that goes through Canada, America, and Mexico. Right. There's a plan to cut up the world. There's a plan to cut up the Americas. There's a plan to cut up Europe, England, and Africa, and there's a cut to Middle East. And this is where all this thing goes on about, you know, you can't drive there, you won't be able to fly there, and that they're going to cut you in slowly into prisons, basically. And we're all falling for it.
Yeah, like what do we do? And which prison do I want to be in? I'm still gonna join the European prison if I have to be in one. I sure as shit am not going down with the Canadian American one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fight fight whatever I
I
can.
know, I'll do my best, but what can like one little, I know, like that's the thing. It's like we have to fight, but like what do we do? What do we do? I don't know. And we don't know until it's like happening either. Like we know, anyone with free will knows that they're not going to go down easily, but it's like at the same time we have no real, like we have ideas, we have concepts, like you know how many theories I've heard about the New World Order? All of them are quite similar, but like none of them really have like, none of them are the same. I've heard like 8,000 concepts of this my whole lifetime. So it's like, we have an idea, and of course the be all and end all we know is world domination and enslavement of our human race, and like the complete end of free will, but like how it happens, we don't know for sure. We really don't know. We don't know what tricks they're gonna pull out of our sleeve, and like you said, you know some things. We have holograms, sure. Like, yeah, who's to say that the UFOs they're even pulling are fucking real? That could be a hologram this whole fucking time, because we've seen them put, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but
I believe that, but it's just, I'm just playing devil's advocate to the whole apparition of everything. Cause like, who's to say what the fuck is real?
There's a lot on our plate at the moment. There really is too much on the plate, and it's overflowing. And like we've got like, have you ever heard about Germany? Well, different countries actually, where people have gone down holes and then come back up, and the government have shut them down. They've closed them up. Right, there's a thing. I remember a German one where a couple go hiking. See like a cave, and go walk in there, let's have a little look, looked in there, seen something, walked back out, told the police told the military, they locked it up and said, basically the signs on there like, if you walk in there, we're going to shoot you. Doesn't matter what, who you are, we're going to shoot you.
Yeah.
But that's to do with the reptile supposed aliens. Now,
the reptilians.
Big thing in Los Angeles. There was a big tunnel. There was, when they were making the tunnels and stuff like that. There was actually a load of workers who had supposedly seen like these aliens down there, and even Grand Theft the game. There's a mountain there, and there's like a map at the top, and there's like tunnel systems in that. That's to do with that. That's to do with that story of like tunneling, and actually some reptiles being actually in underground there. But
then there's the whole concept that reptilians are shapeshifters, so like all the people in charge of our world really are aliens anyway, and they're not even human beings. But then if there's the fucking light ones, where the fuck are our angel aliens to pull us out of this fucking shitty dimension and save our fake souls?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean though? Like what? Where does this all come together? Because it's like, yes, all of this makes sense, but there is light forces and there is dark forces. The dark forces are clearly in charge. I don't give a fuck if they're reptilian, human, what the fuck they are, if they're machines. But, like, someone's gotta drop down and save us all. That's all I'm saying. Like, it has to fucking happen.
Federation of Nine will turn around and go, right, we need that stopping. Because apparently they've been protecting us. We are protected. I believe that
wholeheartedly, because I know for a goddamn fact I'm protected. Like, I shouldn't be here, and a million times over. Like, the way I've lived my life, the dumb shit I've done, the situations I've put myself in that I should have gotten in trouble, been arrested, fucking killed. Like, I'm protected as fuck, and I know that, and nobody can tell me differently. So, like, if I know that, and, like, there are beings, like, we have protection on some level. So, like, there is, like, that side of me that still has some hope, but it's like, if there is protective forces, what are they waiting for to show their hand as a whole spectrum? Because if we're unveiling the whole fucking rabbit hole of UFOs and aliens and other beings, then we have to, like, somehow the rabbit hole of all the good has to come out of this. Like this, I cannot sit here and believe that all of this planet is just going to the evil darkness hellhole that it's going to. Like, I don't believe that. I can't believe that there's nothing else to, like, balance that out, because it is.
This is where the alliance comes in, and where whistleblowers, I mean, we brought in law over here where it was like, you can whistleblow, we'll protect you.
Right.
A couple of people did it, didn't protect us. So people are going to go forward, but the one that was brought in this year, I think, and that's why people have been able to come forward and go to the Senate, because they're protected now. And it's all about there's so many different kinds of stories. I mean, have you heard about in the Antarctica, there was words found?
Yeah.
And President Obama went, you had like, Buzz went down there as well. You had like, other religious people who were going down there. And it was all to do with a word. There was one word in multiple different languages, and it's supposed to mean something, but like no one's come out with a word. Even if someone come out with a word anyway, it'd be like, is it that word? Yeah.
Right. Well, we could try it. I mean, we could try it. I don't know. Maybe we're saying the word right now. Maybe we say it every day. Maybe it's like, maybe well, we have no fucking idea. Yeah. I do think Antarctica is one of the more fascinating things just in existence. Like, what is this place? Like, what is down there?
Where's the best way to hide the evidence?
Huh?
Where's the best way to hide the evidence? In with all the hoaxes.
Yeah.
In there with them, and then it's like, yeah, that's just another one. Yeah, I've seen one like that. Yeah, I've seen. But then, you know, it's a case of it, how you look at it and how your skills as well on how you believe, like, you know, that picture's right, that picture's not right, and stuff like that. It's down to the individuals, and it's all the case of, I mean, from 1994, videos, pictures, stuff like that, less believable. Because the technology come in where they can manipulate a lot more.
Right. Create so much doubt in people's minds.
Yeah, and it's a part of the program of, you know, confusion us. If you keep us confused, it's like, you know, rats in a cage.
Right, exactly. I mean, God, even you and I are confused about information. Like, you know, people who still want to cage on to their free will. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Exactly. But it's very interesting watching it go along. Very interesting in information that I already have or already presumed what was coming, and then they come through, and it's like, in one way it's like mint, but in another way it's like, you know what, we're heading down the dark path here, and like,
it's so dark and spooky, and I want nothing to do with it. I want the light path to unfold itself, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there has to be a break where there is a light path option. I am not gonna sit here and be like, I'm put here just to like go in this agenda, and there has to be something else. It's like fucking bullshit. I mean, and I know it's dark as fuck right now, but there's always light within the dark. So where the fuck is it? I just would like to know, where's that? As much as I want answers to all the darkness, I want the light.
Yeah, I always say that if you've reached rock bottom, there's only one way now. It's up.
Yeah, exactly.
Not going any further down. You can only go up from there. So you might as well be cheery and happy, because everything from there on is great.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but like, we're so far from rock bottom as a, like, culture. Like, we think it's dark now. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, let's not get there.
Well, I think possibly, the war will bring them. A war will bring them. I think possibly because if you, in World War II, you had three fighters.
Right.
Then you had, in peaceful time, you've had UFOs and that, even over, Washington State, over the White House, you had like, for 2 weeks, you had, every now and again, you had like 20, 30 UFOs hanging over it. You know what I mean? And it's and that's still questioning of the day, and there's still no answer to it.
Right, exactly. But I do think it's coming to a war of some sort. So, like, you know, people will argue, is this even like a physical war? Is this like a telepathic war? Is this like a fucking spiritual war? Like, nobody can even answer that fucking question. Because is this the technology? Because, like, now there's so many other things that are, like, very clearly which has always been, technology's always been here, aliens have always been here, but it's, like, so heightened right now. It's like, I don't even think this is like a traditional war, and a lot of us don't think that. Like,
I think there's a lot of lies in there. There's a lot of lies in there and being covered up.
Right.
And like, we're being taught, like, you've got pockets of lies that join up to, you know, the truth, and then pockets are going, making us believe on the next step, or, you know, things are getting even worse, and yet they'll be sat up in their crown going, oh, I'll be alright in 2 weeks' time, you know what I mean? We know what's going on. Yeah. We're in charge and you were all fucked. Basically.
Well, that's accurate.
Yeah, basically. So we now have to fight for our freedom, and like we sort of have been doing, but a big problem is a lot of these shiny things. Like, yeah, here's a shiny thing, pay 200 quid for it, and we'll give you another one next year. You're going to pay 300 quid for that. And people are very, very quick to grab. I suppose because there's not been a lot being given to us, and we have to grab as much as we can. If you get the opportunity, get it.
We like, I mean, I fall victim to shiny things all the time because it's the thing that makes me fucking happy because like everything else seems so goddamn bleak all the time. So yeah, I travel too much. I drink a lot of wine and I buy shiny things because that's like what keeps me going with any sort of optimism left and makes me feel like I have free will, even though I'm buying into commercialism and materialism so hard to appease myself and I'm aware of that. But it's like, it's still the only thing like that keeps me going at this point. Like, I don't know what else I have. Like, I got nothing. I got a bunch of theories and, yeah.
Now put it a different way, right? So you got all that and that. Now think if it wasn't there, what would you be doing? What would you be thinking about? Would you be looking after, your next door neighbour or, wondering what's going on with next door's cat or, I
already do that too. I do all of it.
Oh yeah. I know, but most people now are too blasé. You know what I mean? Instead of like,
most people don't care. Like,
yeah,
you know that people will get stabbed in the street and people will like record it nowadays instead of like trying to help the person getting stabbed in the fucking street. It's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
You say the wrong word. I remember a comedian doing some filming across the road. So he's walked out the door. And every black person who walked past, he went, "Hi, my neighbour." But they thought he said the wrong word.
Oh.
And he's kicking off with him. And he's like, "Oh, no, honestly, come and have a look. Record it there." And it's like, you already know your reaction on certain words.
Right. It's like but people already expect it to be bad too. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like nobody expects you to be like a good person.
Yeah, they expect you to walk in the door and then you say one thing and it's totally not what they've said, yet you've already interpreted it before they even walk in the door.
But
and it's a case
of like, we need to not be so goddamn sensitive as words if we want to like ever band together and like hope like that we have a chance.
You can't be manly nowadays.
No, can't.
Yeah, fall out the window. And it's like, what am I now? Like, you know what I mean? So I can't do manly things. You know what I mean? What is manly things?
I don't know.
Can't go down. Can't go down to football. Can't watch. Have a drink and stuff like that. And just things they're escalating it so much to confuse us. Just to right at the last bit, they go, gotcha, got you all in one little pile. You all took it. You all suckers. Nice one. And then the aliens will come in and go, "Oi, what's going on here?"
Yeah, but maybe it's what if it's the reptilians enslaving our race to begin with, though? There's that.
Maybe it needs to happen. You ever thought of that?
Well, I feel like everything happens for a reason, so probably, but that doesn't mean that I'm happy about it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We never know but like, we don't even know, like, this, it could be fucking great, because either way, I mean, like, we're either gonna get enslaved or we're gonna all burn to death, so it's like, I'd rather not burn to death in a hot planet, I guess, but it's like, I don't really want to be enslaved either, but can you really enslave a free thinker anyway? I mean, yes, but like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Yes. But I mean, like, clearly, like, regardless of my personal selfishness and my desire to just like live my little bubble, I mean, that doesn't work either because I look at what's around me, but it's like, something has to be done regardless because nothing's worked. Our construct of government sucks. Like, the way humanity thinks now is fucked. Like, our planet is burning. Like, there's, like, nothing works. So, like, let's just be clear that nothing works.
Yeah.
In general right now. So it's like.
Totally. Someone needs to bring a fix it in. Or is it going to be the second coming?
I don't, like, that's the thing. That's what I'm wondering. Like, it could be
a young politician, but he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Supposedly, that's what Nostradamus, I believe, said. And World War III, when the World War III will stop when, two brothers will collapse. Now, you could put that as 9/11.
I was going to say.
or you could even put it as the royals over here, the two brothers collapsed their thingy. Then the war happens, and the treaty, and the new king as well, that was in it. The new king will come, the war will come. Then there's a bridge in France where the signature will be signed where they give up. We win.
See, I knew I had to move. I feel like France is the free world, which is why I'm immigrating there, because really, let's be clear.
Yeah,
but let's be clear, as a nation, the French people are so much more fuck you than anyone, and I love them for that. They're just I don't know if they know what they're fighting for, but they are definitely not going to be the first nation of people to succumb to anyone's will but their own. So, respect.
Yeah, but I've heard possibly they're the first ones to fall as well. But I've only heard that. And
they are. Yeah,
but I don't have. If you think about it, if the end of the war is going to be signed there, then it's going to be a much peaceful area, I should imagine, and it's going to be a total different war. It's either going to be bombs dropped or computers electric out. Because the Russian way of doing it is they will blow a nuclear bomb 20 miles above the atmosphere, which when it hits when you do that in the atmosphere, the EMP pulse, instead of it being 1 million on the charge, it's like 1 trillion on the charge, and all that will do will wipe out all your electric in America and Europe. And then what's the first thing you do? The first tactic of taking on your enemy is taking down their communication.
Right, I know, and I do feel like that's exactly how they're gonna hit, whoever starts it. I don't know who's gonna start it, probably Russia or us, or
Well, they haven't shown themselves a lot until we brought in nuclear weapons and technology.
Right, that's so true. That's when they started, coming a lot. That's when all the things started happening. That is so true. And I feel like that's part of their place here is to, save us, in some weird way.
We've got to save ourselves. They're only there to watch us, but we've got to save ourselves. But they want us to live because we are special within the universe.
Yeah, we really are, for whatever reason. And that gives me chills because I do feel that. So I mean, yeah, we have to save ourselves, but come on, they're gonna intervene on our behalf. They have to. What the fuck else are they here?
Not necessarily, like I said, they might.
It's just their television show. They're like, this is interesting.
Yeah, and it's we know this, that we know we want to wreck them, but we know what's going to come afterwards. You know what I mean? We know that it's going to be great, and the civilization will go beyond the stars, but we don't know that at the moment. You know what I mean? It could be working out that way, but I would have thought, because in other ways, look, if they were really bad, right?
They would have done so many things bad to us already. I don't believe that they're bad at all. I mean, I'm sure some of them are.
Yeah, there's a story of 3 submarines that were designed after they were not usable anymore. They were designed to fly in space, and us and another alien race went to a meteorite and fought the Draken species, which is supposed to be they're supposed to be the bad ones, and that, because there are it's like abductions. There are 3 kinds of abductions, sorry. There are 3 kinds of abductions. One, grace, pick you up, have your little test, you might wake up, we'll send you back down and all that.
Yeah, but everyone's those are the evil ones. Are they really that bad? Because if they're just probing you and sending you home, they can't be that fucking bad. Come on. And that's it for this week. We are going to finish this up with part 2 next time on the Leila Show. Join in again while we continue up with Lee Taylor about aliens, conspiracies, World War III, and everything else you want to and need to know. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week. Bisous, ciao. The Leila Show.